What's up, folks? And you see it's the trio again today. We're going to be obviously talking about, you can see the shirts, everybody. You can see all the merch, the lore, all that good stuff. The Batman. Of course, we had to talk about. Of course, us three, we had to talk about it. We all had a chance to check out the early screeners. And hopefully you all did too. But if you didn't, it's okay, because we'll go non-spoilers, and then we're definitely going to get into some things. So just be aware that this is going to be a full-blown discussion of the Batman. I'm not Jerry of the Big Gold Belt Media, and we have Miss Nadia of, should I say of or is the Gotham Geek Girl? Not just but she is the Gotham Geek Girl. Let it be known.
Yeah.
Of the Nerd Blast. What's going on, Farrell?
That is right. I am good. How is everything with you guys? This is great. I'm glad we got to do this again for the Batman, of course. That's so right. Excited to talk about this with you guys.
Yeah, you know the trio. We link up when the big movies come out, so it was a no-brainer where we was like, the Batman. Of course, we're talking about it. We all had different experiences in attending the screenings, which should be something fun to talk about. But nonetheless, we have had a chance to talk to watch it. So we're here to talk about it. So I think the first question to kind of start off today with all things the Batman. How was the screener experience for you all? Like, how was it knowing that you were about to sit down for a 2-hour and 55-minute non-stop action film? Nadia, we'll start with you.
I mean, you know, the hype is real for me. Like, it's Batman. Like, I saw every like Batman movie essentially in theaters. Well, the first one was like the year I was born, but minus the Keaton one. I saw everyone in theaters like first night back in the day when it was like midnight screeners for the Nolan verse. And then like I was still a fan of Ben Affleck, and then now I'm a fan of Pattinson, and I take all the shit back that I spoke before. This movie was amazing. Like I loved it. I was blown away, and like I was excited throughout the whole movie. I was like at the edge of my seat. So I'm like, I'm happy to have that feeling again with a movie.
Yeah, Mopsin, what about you, buddy? You had to, man. I ain't going to say anything. What was your screening experience like, sir?
Oh my God, let me tell you, it was crazy. We had a packed house of people, you know, coming to the fan first IMAX experience to watch this movie. I've been looking forward to this movie for a while. I'm a fan of Matt Reeves. I've loved a bunch of his films, coming from Planet of the Apes, Let Me In, even Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, love it.
Yeah. And then Pattinson, like he's been doing some pretty great work, you know, after, you know, being on Twilight for, you know, for a while. Now he's doing all this amazing stuff, and now he gets to put on the cowl and become the Dark Knight. And I was super pumped to see their take on, you know, this iconic DC hero that's been told countless times in Hollywood, but it's always an interesting experience to see like how they envision you know, this character along with you know, Gotham City itself. So definitely it's definitely been a ride so far.
Yeah, for me, I feel like, you know, my screening experience was I got to see it last week. So a week early before the, shall we say, the third tier screeners that went out, because there was obviously that first tier folks who got to get all the lovely and nice interviews with the cast, and then it was us, and we got a chance to see it. And two or three things crossed my mind. First thing was, man, it feels good to be back in theaters. Second thing was, I remember it's like, oh, I can't hit pause and play anymore. Like I gotta actually sit down for 3 hours. I was like, oh my God, did I drink too much? Wait, did I nap long enough? Like I had to check my endurance and my stamina for this. But man, it was every bit of 2 hours and 55 minutes. And it was just a really good experience. But on the other end of that, I also had to keep my mouth closed until Monday. So it was a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, and Sunday. And then finally Monday at 12 p.m. reviews were able to go out. And I was like, finally I could talk about it, because man, I was Tetris where I was just like, I want to talk to my friends about it. I want to tell them my thoughts. And man, they were on us. We got emails, we got announcements that said, you can't say anything, but you seen it and hush your mouth. And I was just like, I can't even be excited. They're like, no, nothing. So it was definitely a journey. So I need this, yo. I needed this moment to decompress with you. But let's talk a little bit more about the film, and obviously we'll again do have non-spoilers, then we'll actually get into things. I think a very simple other question to kind of go about roundtable style here is, who had the peak performance in this? Who was the character and actor behind that character that just stood out for you amongst all? Nadia, with you first.
Paul Dano and Colin Farrell.
Yeah, okay. Joker and Riddler.
Yeah.
Joker and Riddler.
Riddler and Penguin.
Penguin. Joker. Who's that guy?
The villains blew me away with this.
Nice,
I was
nice.
like, oh my god, that was Colin Farrell. Like his voice, his face, everything. He just nailed it.
Yeah. Muffin?
I think I'm the same way with Nadia. It has to go to Paul Dano as the Riddler and Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I mean, I feel like the villains kind of stole the show for the most part. I liked their takes on the characters, and I Colin Farrell, he's like, you could hardly recognize him with all that makeup on.
Crazy.
It's nuts. I cannot believe it. And he pulled it off.
Like, it looked like a face.
Yeah. And like the way that the tone of the film was, I wasn't sure if he was gonna fit in really well with his character, but he made it work. He totally made it work.
I tell you, for all the folks who had known about that casting beforehand, that's cool. But for me, who had no clue, I was like, where is Colin Farrell? Like, I know he's in here. I was like, is he a cop? I was like, wait, Penguin? What? I was like, oh my god. I could not tell at all. But as good as his performance was, I don't know if I'm being biased because I'm just a huge fan, but it's Jeffrey Wright by a planet. He was so good as Gordon that I said this in my review. I thought that Robert had the biggest task because he had so many other past things that people had to erase out of their mind in order to respect him in this role. And not only just that, but he also stepped into one of the most iconic characters of all time in Batman. So he had a lot to prove. And he starts off with this narration. You're just like, oh, God, the Gotham aesthetic and feel is creeping into it. And it was good. And then the first time Jeffrey Wright said something, I was like, oh, no. See, that was good. But Jeffrey Wright is legendary. Anytime he talks, you just listening. And when he's complimenting who was so cool that he was such a fan of Batman, that like it just made it even more like intimate with how he was giving his performance. That was just like, yo, this is just when you know you're just on God tier of acting. Jeffrey can play any role, period. And the fact he comes in as Gordon, which I don't think he was on anybody's radar in terms of like, I can't wait to see how he performs. It's just like Gordon. It's like, we know he's there all of the time, but like the fact that I felt like he was a scene stealer at every given point, I was like, dude, like I'd be so scared to be in a movie with him because like I just feel like he's just that commanding. And even when he's not even on screen, you just hear his voice, you're just like, damn, that dude is good. He's just that good. So it was Jeffrey Wright for me. I thought him as Gordon, which, as he's Lieutenant Gordon right now, and not Commissioner Gordon yet. So we'll have to see what happens going forward. But yes, that means we get more Jeffrey Wright. So I'm happy with that. Talking about, again, non-spoiler stuff. What scene of the film really just was mind-blowing to you? What was the one scene that when you left out of the theater, you was just like, yo, I can't wait to talk about that. Mustin, we'll start with you.
Oh my God. I mean, there were a couple of scenes that really, really grabbed me, but I think one that a lot of people are going to talk about that's been teased in the trailers was the car chase scene between Batman and Penguin. Because when you see that rolling, it goes full on action mode, like just for the whole entire scene, just with this car chase and then going through the highway through Gotham, like, oh my God, that just, it totally blew me away, especially when you hear the purr that the Batmobile makes. Like when you hear that sound, you know trouble is a coming.
Yeah. Look, I said to myself, I said, Vin Diesel somewhere right now watching this right note saying, we gotta add this in the
Yeah,
new
we got to
Fast
do
and
this
Furious.
in our next part.
We need this car. We need him. We need the sounds. Like, yeah, but easily I'm just gonna just say like me too with everything you said. What about you, Nadia?
I love that scene as well. But for another one, I'll give like when he's in the club and he's like throwing people off the balcony, and he uses the
Oh, the grappling hook.
yeah, the
The
grappling hook.
grappling
He
hook?
used the
Yeah.
grappling hook to grab like a guy by his leg, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes, like
Yeah,
this
that
is
was dope.
Batman, like throwing people off the balcony, and like it felt so Batman. So that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to add that I also felt like this was the most practical Batman of all the Batmans we've seen, and yes, we know he's only 2 years in, but I do like the fact that fights were exchanges, and he didn't just go in and just him versus the world. It was literally a fight where he gave offense and had to do some defense as well. And like the club scene is a really really good example of that. I hate to play devil's advocate here because I said I didn't want to do it, but I just feel like because it is a discussion that we got to kind of do it. And I want to really, really say this, and I don't want you to sign it in blood. Of the Batmans you've seen, how are you ranking this? Without thought, not too much thought. This when you saw it, where did you feel about rankings? And I mean, like, if you say, like, for instance, if you said like Endgame is my favorite Marvel movie, and that's an easy go, but when I really think about it, it's easily Cap 2. But Winter Soldier will always be my favorite. But like, so without thinking too hard, without dealing with all the politics and the pleasing everybody's like, whoa, da, 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 da. After you watch this, where did you honestly feel when you think about your rankings or just your overall fandom of Batman? What was your impression? Muffin, we'll start with you.
Are we going by like ranking of our favorite Batman, or is it just by film?
That's a good question.
Both my answers are different.
That's a good
Because
question.
it's going to be different between those two for me.
Okay, I'll do this. I'll do this because we don't only dislike Batman on the big screen. We like the animated Batmans as well too.
Yeah.
So let's start with Pattinson as Batman. Where did you feel? And again, so you don't have to think so hard. Where do you think his performance as Batman, his really embracing the Batman, where did you feel was that? And we'll say, did you feel like it was top tier, medium tier, or please come again, try again?
I think for me, it's pretty much in the middle, but also kind of a little bit higher for my standards. I think for me, it's like I grew up watching the Tim Burton Batman movies, so Keaton's always going to be, my top tier favorite. But also with the Nolan films, like that also kind of comes in top tier as well. And I feel like with Pattinson's version, it's like it kind of comes close to how we saw Nolan's version, but then you also kind of see a bit of Keaton's version because Keaton's version was a bit of a weirdo, and I feel like with Pattinson, he kind of came off that way in some of the scenes that was shown in the movie. So I kind of feel like it's like kind of right there in the middle. So for me, it's kind of a right in the middle of that tier of all the Batmans that we had over the years.
So as soon as I said that, I was like, I don't even know my answer. But then I thought about something because of something you said. I feel like one more movie, and I think we're going to truly gain more appreciation for Robert. And I think so too. The true correlation to this, and so from the bottom of my heart, feel like they are on the same trajectory in terms of being A-tier actors. He's Robert. He's Andrew Garfield, where no one liked his Spider-Man performance at all. And then he comes back and everybody's like, oh, he's easily the best. And I always stuck by him because I always felt like he was the best actor of the three. Robert, as you said, and as everybody should know, has been smoking hot in all of his roles. He's been doing Lighthouse, Tenet. The dude can't miss right now. And I think that you're going to look at this performance like, oh, yeah, it's okay. It's not that bad. And I think we're going to come back after the second movie and realize, like, damn, he actually did do a damn good job. He really, really did do that. So I'm right there with you in medium tier because a lot more room to grow. But I
Certainly.
hope everybody has that respect of saying, like, he played Batman for sure, but he is a fantastic actor, and that means that he still got a ton of more room to grow with this, and that is something special we should be on the lookout for. And that's why I say I feel like he's like Andrew Garfield, because no one gave him the time of day in the movie. There's just like, oh, the movie sucked. Don't even put him in my Spider-Man list. But then Spider-Man No Way Home comes out, and everybody's like, yeah, he's definitely the best of the three. Oh, really? Okay, fine. We'll go with that now, folks.
Nobody gave him a chance
At
I
all.
mean, and it's not even his fault. Like,
oh,
yeah, I mean, you know, it just needed to serenade a little bit, you know. I
it.
feel like that's going to be the same case with the Batman, because you know it's only one movie that we've seen Pattinson donning the cape, so it's going to be interesting to see how he kind of grows into that role, you know, as we see more of him in the future.
Yep. Nadia, take us home on this question. Where do you put him at?
I'm gonna agree with you guys and say like middle high. So like, you know, I'm a huge like Nolan fanatic. The Dark Knight to me is still one of the best comic book movies ever made. Although I love Bale, he's not my favorite Batman. I actually wish we got to see more of Ben, because he was probably maybe my favorite Batman. With Robert, I feel like it's too soon to judge. I'm not gonna say he's not my favorite. He's not exactly my favorite yet, but I think, like you said, with the second one, he might possibly be. So this might be spoiler alert. There was no mention of League of Assassins at all in this movie, so I'm hoping that this is probably. I'm gonna get more into this in my review, but in the second movie, if we get to see more of that in his training and him become more refined, because in this movie he's exactly the same person. Batman and Bruce is the same exact person. So I'm hoping with the second film we're gonna see the like him basically pretend to be Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is his fake persona.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the second one we'll see him like get more training as Batman, and hopefully with the League of Assassins get like more ninja training, and like, because you saw he got his ass whooped in this a bit. So,
yeah.
he was also like breaking faces. So I'm like, I'm hoping with the second one he'll be more refined, and now we'll really be able to judge like, oh shit, that's Batman.
Yeah. Agreed. That's why I feel like, you know, it's a lot of potential and possibilities going forward. And that's why I'm very satisfied with this film. This is a good foundation to start the Reeves verse, shall we call it? You know, kind of gotta call it something, right? The Matt verse or the Reeves verse, whatever it is.
From what I heard, they said bad verse, but I would happily go with reverse, since this is his baby right now.
Reverse. That's how it should be. There we go.
Reverse.
You heard it here first. So I mean, it's our due diligence here, as much as we talk about the things we like. And if there isn't, then you don't have to. But was there any particular parts of this film that you just wasn't a fan of? And I will quickly say, I will never sign up for a 3-hour movie and completely be happy. I'm just not a fan of it. It was the runtime was long. And yes, they executed a story. They executed the start of a potential trilogy or whatever it may be. I get it. But that second act for me was totally a drag. And I understand that I felt like that second act did a lot in terms of character building and even world building. But it definitely was a drag. And I think the pacing could have been better if the action could have just been distributed a lot better. We got early fight, a lot of talking, grand finale with the whole, you know, we'll talk about in a second. So just the runtime was really my big knock. And I will say this, I from the folks I've talked to about it, everybody's like, oh, well, no problem. I didn't have a problem with, you know, with it and whatnot. That's fine. I think also you got to think in retrospect and say, well, would you go do it again? Would you go back right now and go do it again? And that's when you could determine if a runtime was absolutely just overwhelming. When you could say, I'll do it again right now, or I probably need a little bit of time, you know.
That's why I still give The Dark Knight a 10, because The Dark Knight, as soon as I got out at 3 a.m, I was like, holy shit, I would have watched that again right now. With
Fair
this,
enough.
I was like, I don't know if it's just 10 years later and I'm old and tired, but I was like, I
Could
will not
be.
go back and watch that again. maybe in a few days.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, while you're at it, what was any particular parts of the film that you just was not a fan of?
I don't know if can I say it? It's kind of a little spoiler in a way. Not exactly. I'll try not to.
You're the captain of your ship.
So for me, honestly, the music, it was killing me. There were some parts, the soundtrack was fantastic.
Really?
But then there were some parts where it took away from the scene for me. So there were parts that were supposed to be emotional. I felt nothing. I was distracted. So like I was trying to like give people like a idea. Like let's say like you're watching Bruce's parents die. That's not in the movie. I'm just making up an example.
Right.
You're watching his parents die, and you're playing like blasting like Linkin Park. You're not in the scene. But if you play something like low and you still hear like Martha screaming, now I'm in it. Now I'm like, oh shit, this is dark. But the entire movie had a soundtrack blaring where they muted it. There was no vocals. So it took me out of a lot of scenes that I felt an emotional feeling, and I didn't. That was my only like major complaint about the movie.
Man, Muffin, I'll let you get in there. I gotta say, I said in my review, I am feeling very much on the edge by saying a statement that I will forever say that Hans Zimmer is my favorite composer. But damn, if Michael Giacchino is not coming damn close with this and with Spider-Man No Way Home, it's getting rough up there for the #1 spot for me. But that is interesting, and that right there is convincing enough to make me almost want to go back and listen. I could have been fanboying because I'm such a fan of Michael, but that definitely may make me want to go back and check it out just to see what you're seeing that I may have overlooked. But yeah, go ahead, Muffin.
Scene where he was like, he did something to save people, and we didn't even realize it happened.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I noticed it that much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved I love the score in this film. Like I feel like he was able to bring kind of a grunginess to this version of Batman, which I feel like he pulled it off. And then I also got to talk about the cinematography too, because like the shots were so well done. You see the silhouettes of the skyline, and especially when you see it, when Gotham's pouring rain, and then with all the scenes that Batman is in, and then the fights and everything. I feel like it fits in with exactly how I picture Gotham. Like it just made it all work for me. Like both with the cinematography and the music.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that you say that, because I feel like I gotta do a second viewing of that at some point to see what you mean by that, because I was like all over the place with this movie.
10 try to keep bringing up Dark Knight, but like even the whole like ship thing, it's like choose one. Like that was a freaking dramatic moment that you will remember forever. This movie could have had that moment.
Okay. Does this conclude our non-spoiler part of this? Is there anything else I feel like we can tackle before we actually get into it? Because I know we're itching to talk about the specifics.
Well, why don't we give a rating, and then we'll go deep into spoilers.
I'm fair with that. One. I think the movie is very good. Very good. My only knock is the runtime. But it's not perfect. So I'm damn sure not out here lobbying 10 out of 10s. And you can take that up with whoever is doing 10 out of 10s, because I know I ain't gonna say it. But I think, and the reason why is because we all said we see the potential of how much this can grow going forward. So performances were good, but they could be great across the board. And again, everybody's really good, really good. But I think we all feel confident to know that there's still a lot more in the tank for everybody involved here. So that's why I'm very, very settled on 8 out of 10, because I think from every element of the film, there's growth, from the characters, the story, the acting, cinematography, all of it. I think there's still much more underneath in the tank, should I say, to really take things to the next level. Because I think if we were to give it a 10, then we're saying like, well, there's nothing better that could come after this. And I don't feel like that at all. I feel like there's a lot more room for other things. And the reason I didn't go 9 is because I feel like a 9 is basically just saying that there's without flaw at all, period. So I'm 8.5, but I'm very much in that range of just, I feel like that's where my heart says I'm cool with it. What about you, Nadia?
Yeah, I gave it an 8 as well. I enjoyed it. I think this was like the best Gotham we've ever seen. And this storyline is probably the best story we've seen in a Batman movie. Like this was literally Batman. Like when I was watching, I was like, holy shit, like they got this. But yeah, it wasn't a 10 for me. I think like you mentioned, like there's so much room for growth that I expect a lot to see later. But as a whole, I'm like, this was a great Batman film, but I don't know if it's a great film in itself. Like, it's not a 10 for me, but from a Batman fan,
it's a good point.
Amazing.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I should just also say that, yeah, Colin Farrell's performance definitely should be talked about near award season. I know it's like it's going to be way out of scope then, but best with supporting actor definitely should be on the ballot. Colin Farrell. Again, acting was good, and I definitely think it was super good. But like, I still think like Colin Farrell's a main villain. How would that look? I absolutely can see some craziness going down. So
he had fun. I can tell he had an absolute great time playing that role. Like, yeah, he just had, he went full on with that cat.
What about you? What are your rating?
I think I'm gonna go the same. 8.5 for sure. I actually didn't have a problem with the runtime because I feel like the pacing was good. Like I didn't feel like there was like anything that dragged for me. But I guess once the movie was over, and I was actually talking to this with my friend when we both saw the film, it got me thinking like there are a couple of scenes in the movie I feel like could have been slimmed down a little more, maybe a little towards the end. I feel like there was like there was a longing scene that I'll talk about in spoilers that I feel like wasn't necessary. But then when I thought about that, I'm like, maybe this person shouldn't have been in the film in the first place. But yeah, I feel like it wasn't perfect, but it was a step in the right direction for where they're going with this universe. And I would like to know more about what they're gonna be doing with the Batman. And then we're also getting a TV show based on Gotham pretty soon, and then the Penguin's gonna be getting his own show as well. So I'm interested to see how they're going to expand, that world, so we can, dig deeper into Gotham. Because I feel like with this movie, it's like you dipped your toe into it, but then you're taking a step back. Like you only got a taste of it, but you didn't get the complete package.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, that will end it for the non-spoiler portion of this chat. So, folks, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, no more seconds left to get out of here because it's time to get into things, all the things everybody want to talk about. So, in order to keep this kind of off the chain, unhinged, because you know what the folks want. They want the juicy details here. So what we'll do is we'll go around. We'll talk about that one particular thing, no matter what it is that you want to bring up. And I think for me, I think we should talk about Batman and his abilities. I know we're 2 years in, but I am the most optimistic yet suspicious as to where did he get his abilities? Where did he get just this start of where he's at right now, and how do we kind of see this playing out? And we brought up the leagues earlier, which I think that's got to be a no-brainer going forward. But What do you all think in terms of this Batman being 2 years in? Oh, how did we get to this point? Where do you think the beginning part of this story is, and how did he get so established? And I will say one other thing before y'all answer is that while we do know there's a Batman in Gotham, there's also a lot of folks who does not know that, because we did see like sort of in scenes where, especially in the scene in the church, where the cops was just like, wait, is that really him? And I was just like, that's right, because he does come off more like a myth at times, or more like a, is that really a person? We see all the criminals looking in the shadows because, you know, he's vengeance and he's hiding in the shadows, and folks are thinking like, he might be there, but he hasn't pulled up on me yet. So I just sort of in terms of just how do you come to the conclusion where he's at? Kind of want to talk like, you know, theories here. Nadia, how do you think we got this Batman at the point that he's at right now? Suit and all that, like all of it. How do you think?
So that's what I'm wondering. Like, what has he done? Like, where is Lucius going to be a part of this? Because he got those contacts, and that seems a little ahead of where he's at now. So I'm like, is he going from making shit like on his own, or like does he have someone helping him? Because like it kept like, I don't know, I felt like it didn't know exactly where he was yet, and that was like my other little like thing. I was like, he disappeared too quick, where he does the thing where people like. So I'm like, but he hasn't gotten any training yet. So how did he get this like ninja ability if he's still getting his ass rocked? And then like that part where he's like on the roof, like I actually really liked that scene because he was scared. You saw the fear when he was about to jump. He was terrified, and I love that they showed that. But I'm just like, so how did he get the grapple thing? Like when he jumped, the like
the
glider?
base suit, right? Is that
Yeah.
The
So
base
I'm just
suit.
like, how did he start
Base
testing that? Like, I kind of would have liked to see at least even 5 minutes of him like training or some, just some kind of something. That was like my other little complaint.
Yeah, Mopson.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of fills in a gap of like where he got that training from, because like I know Alfred was talking about you know, I've given you some, you know, a few skills here and there, like when they were in the hospital. But I feel like there's more to it than what we were kind of teased, because I feel like they didn't explain it that well, but only because it's only 2 years into his career as the Batman.
Yeah.
So we don't really know like where he's getting this, you know, where he's getting like how he got so smart all of a sudden, like with all this technological, you know, gadgets that he has, you know, in his dispensary. Like it's I mean, it does confuse me, like how he was able to get, you know, all of that. But I'm hoping maybe in the second film they might touch a little bit about that as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I don't think we needed an origin story, but I think like we were kind of happy that Batman was doing Batman things. But after a while, I was kind of like, well, wait a minute, how are you doing all these Batman things and whatnot? And I would like to have just a little bit of information ironed out of what that. But to your point, this also makes me say, well, what's up with Alfred? What does he know? And I want all of that, by the way, like all of that. So we'll see. Nadia, what about you? Where do we go next with this conversation?
As in like more character breakdowns.
How about this? Let's just get into the juicy thing. The Joker, folks. The Joker.
Straight to that ending, huh?
The Joker. What's your thoughts about seeing him? What are your thoughts about theories being true? This was apparently supposed to be a scene cut, but it was actually in the film. So and just your overall thoughts about this character, potential to being the next character up, the next villain up, like ultimately predictions. We'll keep it at that. Predictions of the Joker. So yes, now back to you, Nadia. What's your thoughts?
I just thought it was a weird scene that wasn't necessary. It didn't feel like consistent with the rest of the movie. The laugh was atrocious, and he looked like Two-Face. Like for a second, I thought it was Two-Face, but then I was like, wait, they would have mentioned Harvey Dent by now. But then, like, you saw his eyebrow, and I was like, okay, wait, I think that is Joker. And then they did the retarded laugh. Sorry, can't say that word. The really bad laugh, and I was like, it was just cringe to me. I honestly didn't like that scene at all.
Yeah. I know that Matt Reeves was interviewed and brought up about rumors of the Joker being in the movie, and then he talked about, like, you know, there's an Arkham prisoner there that he had a lot of fun with this scene, and you know, it wasn't going to make the film. And ultimately, it was funny because one of my friends I was sitting next to, he leaned over to me. He's like, "Wait, who is that in acting?" And I couldn't think of Barry's name at the time, but then he was like, "Wait, is that Shane from The Walking Dead?" And I was like, "Dude, go on now." But I thought it was funny how they did that scene, but also thought it was kind of like, to me, I'm impartial with this. I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny. The Joker and the Riddler laughing jokes with each other and whatnot. But I feel like it's just so easy to always go to the Joker. So my only reservation and almost wish in this is that I hope he's in jail and he stays his ass in jail and they do not utilize him going forward right now. And I think this was maybe like, all right, cool. I know you all probably wondering when the Joker's coming, but just in case, he's in jail, so he's not getting out, so you don't have to worry about him being a villain going forward. Because so many other folks that I would love to use. I would love to see Mr. Freeze ASAP. But, you know, I just thought it was just one of those things where we're just like, I know you all are worrying about this. I know you heard the rumors. We'll throw it in the movie. We're done with this. So, but the other thing is, like, I wouldn't mind seeing Barry's performance here as the Joker. I think that, you know, in his role in Internals, I think there's a little bit of a swagger there that can really bring some intrigue into that role. But man, that's a tough mountain to climb, because there's some other really legendary performances ahead of his, and I don't know. But hey, Robert's out here, you know, making a stake and claim for his name amongst the elite. So maybe Barry's up for the challenge. What you gonna say, Nadia?
Wait, I just wanted to piggyback off the villain thing. So this is probably not going to happen, but things I want to see, being that this universe seems more realistic. I don't know if he's going to go with like the like mystical or alien aspect of it. It seems very down to earth and realistic, and like I keep comparing it to one of my favorite movies, because crime thriller 90s movies are my favorite. So like Seven, Bone Collector, I love all those kind of movies.
There's definitely influence for those.
Yeah. So with this, I want to see more grounded villains and like gritty villains. Like, I think they could bring in like people like Ventriloquist. I want to see Mr. Pig. I want to see some like bloody crazy stuff. And I feel like with his vibe, like Mr. Pig, like I feel like they could do some more stuff. Like, I love the Joker, but don't always give us the Joker. Like, Batman has the best arsenal of villains. There's so much they can do.
I know we got to get you in there, but I got to bring up something I totally forgot. I forgot about this. I need this to be rated R. I really, really struggle with this being PG-13. I mean, cool. I can live with the Penguin not being able to smoke cigarettes. That's fine. But when you get beat by a carpeting tool and no blood splatter, I just felt very tricked. I was just like, there is definitely something missing here, because the sound was so enhanced on the brutality of it. There should be something red proceeding afterwards, and it wasn't there. So I get it. PG-13, more viewers, broader audience, but man, rated R would have been so sweet. So
yeah, like go the Logan route. Come on.
Yeah,
but then the kids won't be able to see it.
I know.
They shouldn't watch this.
Well, this is more of a harder PG-13 than just a tame PG-13, because you know we did get some, you know, content that might be disturbing, you know, for certain people. Like we have, you know, the cut off thumb drive that we got in there, and then like I don't know. It's. I mean, I also wish it was rated R too, but I mean, there's still so much you could do, like with what they were giving. I think that was the one choice that was given to Reeves when he was given control to direct the movie from Warner Brothers, was to keep it PG-13.
Yeah.
But I think he worked around it, so I don't think
it wasn't much. It wasn't much that needed to be done. I mean, you know, especially when the Batman suit, which is made of a tank, apparently. Especially when he's taking, shotgun rounds and all sorts of artillery to the chest. And obviously, if the suit's going to eat it, then there's really no need for blood. But yeah, it's just the Riddler scene with the carpeting tool. I mean, that made a statement in the beginning of the film, like, oh, the Riddler's nothing to play with. But then I was like, wait a minute, the way how they even shot it with the tool kind of flinging out, and then like obviously a body's there. There's a lot of reasons why blood should have just been right among that trail. So beggars can't be choosers, but I definitely would have liked blood to be there if possible.
Yeah, I get
it. But what about you, Mops, in terms of should we say wants or predictions in terms of going forward with villains?
Here's my thing. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say,
I'll let you finish your thought.
And overall with the Joker.
I think I'm okay with them, teasing the Joker in that scene. As long as they thread carefully with that character, because we've seen Joker countless times, and I feel like if they're gonna go that route, maybe not go full on too much, and just kind of make it their own. They don't have to go too much into like how other versions were done. Like, by far Heath Ledger is like the top standard of how the Joker character is on screen. And then, close to that was Joaquin Phoenix's version in the Joker. So if they're going to do something like that for this universe, then it's, to be determined is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because, based on what I've seen, I'm not too impressed, but I'm also curious to see what they do. But I do want to see other characters, other villains that they could use in, Batman's rogue gallery, because there's tons they could use.
Yeah.
Because I think when they announced this movie, my only one wish was they would go kind of, not go too much into reality. Maybe they could do something like Clayface. Like, we never seen the Clayface, in a Batman movie. That would be something that I will love to see, done right. Yeah.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I agree. Like, there's other ones they could do. They could do I'm trying to think. What was that character's name? I know there's a couple of other ones like Mr. Pig that are up there. I like to see Calendar Man. Calendar Man would actually be a good one too.
I said that too. Yeah.
Give it like I think it fits in with this universe because they're using grounded characters and they're doing serial killers. So I feel like Calendar Man kind of fits into that spectrum. So if they were going to do, go that route, I would totally be down.
Okay. All right, so this is how we're going to close things out. We're going to go over a few fan questions that I got for this. So first off, we're going to start off by, this wasn't exactly the question, but I'm going to like tweak this just a little bit. How'd you all feel about Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman? Yay or nay?
I liked her as Catwoman. I thought she did a pretty good job. I feel like she pulled the character exactly how I would have seen Selena Kyle. My only thing though is I feel like she didn't have to be in there for the entire movie. Maybe she could have just been in some of the scenes, because like there's still so much we don't know about Selena Kyle, and they kind of touched about it here and there with her background and her history with Gotham, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. And then that was another thing I wanted to talk about with the non-spoilers was the last scene that was between her and Batman. I feel like maybe they didn't have to show that completely. Like, just let them go their separate ways, but you don't have to show the whole thing to us. Yeah. Like, we get the idea. So I mean, for me, she was great as Selena Kyle. Don't get me wrong, she was great. I just feel that they didn't have to put too much of her into this movie. If you get my drift.
Yeah. Just by the way, speaking of Vin Diesel again, Vin Diesel was definitely like a executive producer on that last scene where he was like, "Yeah, we did it at the end of Fast and Furious 7 where they kind of went apart and we played the Wiz Khalifa song." Like,
Yeah,
I gotta do
that's what I
that.
got. Yeah,
That was so good. You gotta
vibe.
do that. It's just like, I was like, all right.
So we're doing the Fast and Furious right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Nani, I'm tweaking the question just a little bit for you. How do you feel about Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman in terms of the portrayal of her portrayal of it in correlation to what you read in the comics?
Okay, so I loved Zoe. I think she was a phenomenal Selena Kyle. Like she had all the mannerisms like down packed. So this is where I'm like struggling to break down how I feel about her as Catwoman. I don't know if it was her and maybe more of the I don't know if the effects or the stunts or something. They didn't give her enough like fight scenes, but I felt like I guess like Mustin said, like she's in the movie too much, but like not enough as Catwoman. So it kind of didn't leave the like element of mystery to her. And they rushed her and Pattinson's like love, whatever. It was like kind of like I get they're both like broken, but they didn't establish they're both broken together. Like they didn't really give them enough moments. It was just like, hey, you're hot, but I can't see your face. Like it was odd. But I guess towards the end they had a little more of a connection, but they should have had one kiss, not two. But
yeah. that's a great point.
But yeah, I think it's more so like I loved her as Selena, but I think hopefully going forward, maybe the effects will be better with the fighting because I felt like I'm trying to find a way to break it down because like
I mean, I'll say it like it was exactly at the 2-hour mark is when she was able to get some, hand-to-hand combat in, which I was really looking forward to see. Talk about mannerisms and whatnot. But it definitely did not look so practical. It definitely looked like
it's like the camera like cut, like she's here and then the camera cuts and she's on the floor. Like it didn't show her like fighting. I don't know.
Yeah,
That must have been something through post production when they were working, to meld that scene together. I feel like maybe if they had a few more scenes shot, maybe it would have worked perfectly.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question here. This is a good one. So Batman injected himself with some juice, folks. What was it? What was it that he injected himself with? Predictions, suggestions? I don't know. Maybe an Easter egg or whatnot. What do you think it was, Nadia?
Do you think it's adrenaline, or do you think they're gonna do some kind of new corny Bane again?
I'm going straight adrenaline. I'm not going Venom. I'm going adrenaline on this one. That's my answer. What about you, Buster?
I think it's adrenaline. I don't think they're gonna go Venom with that, with Bane, because that's been done to death. So
I want the Brazilian Bane.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that.
I will say this. I will say this because we want to play devil's advocate here. I think it is adrenaline, and I think what happened will have been taken note to, and I think this is the start of the Venom because he didn't get buffed after he did it. That's what the Venom does. So it wasn't Bane, but I think he will see that is what he did. How can we duplicate this? Thus Venom, thus Bane down the line. So leaving enough doors open to kind of do something, but just adrenaline here.
It's a prototype.
It's a prototype. Great thing. Yeah. Next question I see. Where did that question go? So this is a question I was like, I'm not sure, so I don't have an answer to this, but at least I can't remember right now. I probably need to see it again. Does the Riddler know who Batman? Excuse me. So did Riddler know Batman was really Bruce?
I think so.
I think he did,
and I think no.
I think he always knew
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah. Okay. I thought no, but I was like, I'm not sure. So we'll just bring it to the question here. Let me see. I mean, this was the easy question. Was there an end credit scene? The answer is no, there was not an end credit scene, but there was an end credit stinger, which happens to be the Riddler little what do you call? I had exactly what it's called, but he had this little symbol come up, but there was a name. There was
said like see you later.
It's like on a screen. It's like on a computer screen. You see, goodbye, and then you see the question mark.
Yeah, just it was something. It was a name because of how it's typed out. I was like, it's a computer name. But yes, that's all, folks. It was not and there's folks out here making videos saying there was a scene. No, there wasn't.
There's not a scene. Just more of a tease.
It's more of a
kind of like an Easter egg.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, we kind of talked about this. I mean, I think that I got two other questions were asked. Compared to the Dark Knight trilogy, is this one better or worse?
I don't think it was worse, but I think the Dark Knight trilogy is still better than what I've seen.
Agreed.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say it was bad. I think it was like I like what they're doing and I want to see more.
Yeah. Getting a lot of questions about the Joker. I guess I should just elaborate that once the Riddler went to jail, he ended up hanging out with his new roommate in the Joker. Cellmate. He threw a joke at him. They both laughed, and that was it. The Joker, quick little side glance of him. And I don't think you all would have known it was Barry unless it had been rumored, because it was really just that quick. Yeah. It was
pretty quick.
Yeah. And his face looked fucked up. That's why I thought it was Two-Face, but I was like, there was no mention of death.
You said that, and I forgot that I totally felt that way. Before he laughed, I was like, oh, that's Two-Face. I would have loved that. But it was the
like,
Joker.
Wait, they didn't mention Harvey this whole movie. So I was like, and then he was like, he did the cringy Jared Leto laugh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. A question: is there a tease for Robin? The answer is no. But I will say this:
no.
Batman is definitely on his predatorial stuff, because there is a kid that he's completely obsessed with that isn't Robin. There's no chance of him being Robin unless they do something really crazy. But he's recruiting out here.
But did anybody else peep in the beginning of the movie? That's the actor that plays Tim Drake.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
With
the hat. Yeah. Yep.
I just wanted it to be something. Probably not. I was just like, oh shit, we got a Robin.
Yeah. He was Tim Drake in Titans, right? Yeah. Yep.
But that was the first thing he did before he got booked as Tim Drake. So that was like, it was more of a coincidence. But I wish it were true that, just because he's on Titans, they gave him a role in the Batman.
Yeah. Questions about the bat suit. I mean, we talked about. That was the other question. Is there an additional suit besides the one they received? The answer is no. Here, there was only one suit.
It was just the one suit that he wore in the whole movie.
Yeah,
I mean, other than the fight suit he had, when he jumped off the GCPD building.
The base jump. That was just
the base jump. Yeah.
By the way, I hated how that was filmed. The GoPro shot, I just wasn't a fan of it. It was kind of out of frame a little bit to me too. His head was kind of way too high to the top of the screen, and like that may be nitpicking and whatnot. But when we look at viral videos of people base jumping, they do some fantastic job, and I'm like, there's no reason
they should hire those guys to, do, those kind of shots,
because it was an epic moment, but it didn't feel epic at all. And I think, like you said, Nadi, he was scared. We get it. We did know that. I mean, he hit something on the way down, so we get he hasn't perfected it, but that shouldn't have had nothing to do with the cinematography there.
Exactly.
That should have been top tier, But do we get the White Eyes Batman mask? The answer is
no.
Yes, no.
I think I know what that person's talking about. Probably with the radar thing.
Oh, sonar. Yeah.
The sonar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, we don't get that in this one.
Yeah. I think that is about it. Tons of Joker talk. Joker.
Oh, wow.
Really? I did not want to see him in this movie.
Second suit. Will we get a rated R? Joker is Barry. I always get his name right. It's Cowgan. Cowgan. However, y'all help me down in the comments. Y'all let me know. Yeah. Is he really him? Yeah. Yeah. Same. That I think will do it for the questions. How about you two? Anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I feel like
I think what I want to know from you guys is would you want to see more of this universe? Like, would you be down for the Gotham show that we're going to be getting, and the Penguin series that we're also going to be getting as well? Like, would you be down for that?
Yes. Warner Media, HBO Max got it going on right now. If anything, if Peacemaker is a good indication as to how you can do this good, yes. Give me what you got. Give me what you got. Absolute yes for me. Nadia, you?
I mean, no? I'm still like mad about Cavill and Ben, but I mean, I'm all for this. I love the movie, so I want to see more with it too. We'll see what they do.
Okay.
Yep, same for me. I can't wait to see more of Gotham City and the rest of the Rogues Gallery, hopefully. So yeah, it should be good.
Awesome.
HBO Max is killing it.
Yeah. Well, listen, folks, whether you're watching us on video or whether you're listening to us on audio, jump on the comments. Let us know your thoughts about the Batman, all your additional theories, all your additional predictions, other questions you may have. Also want you all to jump in the comments. Let me know what format did you watch it in, because it is available in a couple of different formats. I saw it in the standard 2D. But there was IMAX available. I think was there a 4DX? I believe it was. It was a bunch.
I'm pretty sure there's a 4DX somewhere.
Yeah. So just let us know how did you enjoy your Matt Reeves reverse of the Batman, as we want to know all your thoughts and predictions and so on. So, but yeah, thank you for listening to us or watching us as we broke down the Batman, giving you all our thoughts, our feelings, our reactions, our love, our very little displeasure of it. And like I said, we'll always be back when those big blockbuster movies come out. We assemble our team, our team of 3 to discuss it all. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you for the next one.
Bye. Later, guys.